My world shattered when I was 14. Dad, my real dad, got sentenced to prison for voluntary manslaughter after a fatal fight outside a dive bar. He insisted he was innocent from day one. I believed him. He wasn't the type to throw punches. He was the guy who fixed bikes for neighborhood kids and always had Band-Aids in his wallet. Mom moved on fast. Within weeks of the sentencing, she started dating Victor. By the time they got engaged 6 months later, she was pushing me to call him Dad and act like the old one never existed. "Your father's dangerous," she'd say. "We need to move forward." Victor smiled too much, the kind that didn't reach his eyes. He watched me constantly. During dinner, while I did homework, even when I walked past him in the hallway. Comments like, "You're turning into quite the young lady," made my stomach twist. Mom called my discomfort teenage moodiness. One evening, Victor cornered me in the kitchen after Mom went to bed early. His grip on my arm left fingerprints that turned purple by morning. "Keep your mouth shut about things that don't concern you," he hissed. I didn't tell Mom. She wouldn't have listened anyway. I started secretly emailing Dad through the prison's monitored system using a fake account I set up at the library. His replies kept me going. Short, careful messages full of love and reminders to stay safe. Then Mom changed my school records to Victor's last name without asking. "It's for your future," she claimed. That same night, Victor sat too close on the couch, his hand resting high on my leg. I bolted to my room and locked the door. He jiggled the knob for a minute before giving up. Dad's next email mentioned something cryptic. "Remember the old toolbox in the garage rafters? Look there when it's safe." I had skimmed that message weeks earlier and forgotten. Now it felt urgent. One weekend, Mom and Victor left for a romantic getaway. I climbed into the rafters with a flashlight. Tucked inside a rusty metal box was a small notebook in Dad's neat handwriting. Entries detailed Victor hanging around the bar for weeks before the incident, asking odd questions about Dad's shifts, even parking nearby at closing time. One page described Victor following Mom home late one night when Dad was working overtime. Dad had written, "I think she's seeing someone. It kills me, but I need proof before I say anything." My heart raced. This wasn't just suspicion, it was motive. They came home early. I barely made it down before Victor spotted dust on the garage floor. He interrogated me about why I was poking around. I mumbled something about looking for Christmas decorations. He didn't buy it, but Mom was too tired to care. I photographed every page on my school laptop during study hall, uploaded them to an encrypted drive, then deleted the originals. Victor started searching my room more often. Drawers left open, backpack rifled through. He even took my phone for safekeeping at night. I reached out to Dad's old friend Marcus, a mechanic who'd known our family forever. Mom had cut him off after the trial, calling him toxic. I called from a borrowed phone at school. Marcus listened quietly, then said, "Meet me at the park tomorrow after class. Bring what you have." He reviewed the notebook photos and grew quiet. "Your dad mentioned Victor showing up at the bar that night. Police never followed up." Marcus knew the bar owner, who still had old external camera footage the cops hadn't requested because the main interior tape seemed conclusive. We watched grainy clips at Marcus's garage. Victor arrived 20 minutes before Dad's shift ended, lingered outside, then slipped toward the alley entrance. Dad appeared later, rushing in after hearing shouts. Minutes later, Dad stumbled out, hands bloody from trying to help the dying man. Victor had already left through the back, before police arrived. Marcus copied everything. "We need to be smart. Victor knows people." Victor grew bolder. He threatened that accidents happen to people who dig too deep. One night, he whispered that Mom could slip in the shower if I kept causing trouble. I got the notebook out of its hiding spot, wrapped in a waterproof bag in the laundry hamper, and gave it to Marcus. He passed everything: photos, footage, witness recollections from bar staff, to Dad's appeal lawyer. Victor sensed the shift. He found my hidden drive login. I'd used a weak password once. He deleted files in front of me, smirking. Copies mean nothing without originals. Easy to fake. Mom announced I was being sent to a therapeutic academy 2 states away. No visitors, no internet, to help with my attitude. I knew it was Victor's idea to silence me. I ran to a friend's house Saturday morning while Victor showered. From there, I called Marcus. He picked me up, drove me to the lawyer's office. We played the footage and showed the notebook. The lawyer filed an emergency motion that afternoon. Mom came home to find police waiting. Victor had confessed in a recorded confrontation at the lawyer's office. Marcus had wired me discreetly when Victor cornered me one last time, bragging about planting evidence and staging the scene so Dad would look guilty. He'd used a knife he'd taken from our kitchen weeks earlier, then swapped it with another. Mom heard the playback. She shattered. Victor tried to spin it as me twisting words, but the damage was done. Police arrested him that evening after finding the original knife in his storage unit, still with trace evidence. Dad's conviction was overturned within weeks. New forensics matched Victor's build and grip to the wounds. Witnesses recanted or clarified statements. He took a plea for murder, tampering, and endangerment of a minor, life with no parole. Dad walked out thinner, quieter, but whole. We hugged for what felt like hours. Mom tried apologies, but the trust was gone. She moved out soon after. Dad got the house, custody, and eventually a settlement. Victor died in prison a few years later. I felt relief, not joy. Dad and I rebuilt slowly. Movie nights, late night talks, him teaching me to change oil. Marcus's family became ours too. Dad found happiness again with someone kind who respected our scars. I still think about that notebook in the rafters. One small hidden truth changed everything. Sometimes fighting for what's right means climbing into dark places and refusing to let go.